welcome you to another segment of Recovery Live Global. We are on a move, we're on a mission, and our focus is to gather information that the community is doing as it relates to recovery. I have with me today Mr. Tony Allen, and he's representing Amherst Homes. That agency have been around for a long time, and layers. It's generational and legacy behind Amherst Home. So what I wanted to do today is come on and talk about Amherst and talk about some of the things that they're doing in the community over there. You guys are on the west side, right?
Yes.
And on Linwood and
Elmhurst, right?
Linwood and First of all, let's talk about your position at the Elmhurst Home. Like, what do you do there? And then we're gonna bleed over in some of the things that Amherst is doing with the community.
Okay. Again, good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me and having me here today. And as you stated, Elmhurst has been around for a very long time. As a matter of fact, it was there when I went to treatment there back in 1991 to get clean and sober, and I've been there ever since. Right now, my current position is the site manager. I'm responsible for the recovery housing piece, the recovery housing portion.
Okay.
We also have the clinical part as well. Recently, we've obtained the CCBAC contract certified, community certified behavioral health center.
Okay.
And a demonstration site, which means we now have the opportunity to provide mental health services along with SUD.
Okay. Wow, mental health and that. You know, they said that stats say that it's a co-occurring disease.
It is.
And so when you could approach it and do interventions on both sides, it's just so much. I mean, the participants turn out just so much better.
Right.
I always, they was asking me the question one day, well, which side do you treat first? What try DC first? When somebody asks you that, what would be your response to what side?
It used to be before we obtained the CCBAC and became the demonstration site, we were SUD. So when a person came to our facility for residential, it was always SUD first. And once we began to treat them and find out that they also have the mental health issue, we will refer them out to get that addressed and try to get them addressed simultaneously together, because that's how the outcomes become better.
Okay. Yeah, I heard you say that you was dealing with the SUD first.
Right.
And sometimes when you do a clean and clear and thorough assessment, you can find out that maybe the mental health side may need to be addressed.
Absolutely.
First, and then SUD, or simultaneously that you addressing both of them.
Right. And that's what we're doing now. We're addressing them simultaneously, because a lot of times people will come for treatment for SUD not aware that they also presented with symptoms or signs of mental illness until they were evaluated or whatever the case may be. And before we obtained the contract, we would have to send them out. Well, now we just address them both together right then and there.
Yeah,
and most don't have to refer them.
Yeah, a lot of agencies is doing wraparound now. They're trying to address the different layers, because you may have a person that's having a substance use disorder, have mental health disorder
as well,
and now they got employment situation and educational. That's where that 12 dimensions of wellness. I mean, eight dimensions of wellness step in that you dealing with the person from a holistic holistic point of view. So Amherst, man, it's been a while. I hear good things about Amherst. Any plans? Any futuristic goal? Well, y'all just accomplished a big one.
Yeah, by
obtaining that other certification, the CCBAC, that you can move forward with both up. Do you guys touch men and women?
And that's what I was getting ready to talk about. We also have a female facility that we obtained some years ago. Maybe it might have been about 20 years plus now, over in Highland Park for the women. And so we addressed that as well.
Okay. the male, the
And the
female.
women.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Do you guys do, so what layers, what levels do you guys do detox there?
No, we don't do detox. We still refer out through Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network for detox.
Okay.
And once they finish the detox, then they come back for residential treatment.
Okay. So you catch them on the residential side.
Yes.
Are you guys doing outpatient or?
We do outpatient for SUD and mental health.
Okay. The outpatient for SUD, mental health. Are you guys doing any housing?
Yes, we do. We do. We have a 3/4 house, 3/4 transitional living, also up over our administration unit, which is on Linwood. And we also do a recovery housing unit as well for up to 4 months, 120 days. Sometimes it could be 150 days.
I think that's needed too.
Oh, it's very
because
much
a lot of times in our discharge planning,
mm-hmm.
and we discharge the participant after their 90-day or 6 months treatment, we discharging them back into the community. And sometimes the community could be toxic and not supportive of the recovery processes. Right. So as much time if you can give a participant to really buckle down and under that umbrella, the better the results in stopping the relapse, relapse processes.
Because a lot of the preferred treatment stays, we would love it to be longer. It's like it used to be back in the day. You could come in, stay for 90 days and 120 days. Well, they've shortened that up. You can do 29 days and tops 59 days. And then you can go to the recovery housing unit for another 120 days. So that recovery housing unit kind of makes up for the limited treatment that they were able to really get, because if there's still some unaddressed issues that they need to address up under this umbrella, up under this structured environment, it can be facilitated in the recovery house.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
Because you keep it, I mean, when you think about it, when I do my assessments, I always ask people, well, how long have you been, how long have you been using? And they think about, when my using turned toxic. They don't think about the experimental stage of using. They don't think about the recreational stage of using. They don't think about the abusive stage of using. They only go to the dependency part and want to address it in that level. But sometimes you got to go back genetically and deal with the experimental part, the recreational part, the abusive part, dependency part. And then you got some participants that moved over into chronicity, where now their using have affected liver, kidney, lungs, heart, and all these other pieces of the body that need to be, dealt with and addressed now. When you got a person now that's in treatment, but on the list for a liver, kidney transplant, a liver surgeries or lung surgeries and things like that, that's a whole different ball. And sometimes you can't deal with that in a 28-day, in a 28-day
And
stage.
especially when you talk about the liver being infected from the drug use, which is the hepatitis C. They've come a long ways because now they have medication to kind of hinder that. If a person is not too far gone once they have contracted the hepatitis C. So that makes a difference. But again, I've always preferred the longer stay in treatment because it gives them a chance to address everything that the person be struggling from. Because from what we understand and what we know is drugs are just a symptom of the problem that we experience when using. We got a lot of other issues. As you said, the things that happened in the beginning when we first started using, it started out at recreational, then it started at PTSD, trauma, all that stuff became.
And that's a lot.
In fact, it's a lot that you have to address.
I heard it said one time that just because a person stopped using don't mean they're in recovery.
No.
Even though you got to stop using to get into recovery, but you could be abstinence and not really in recovery, because the latest modality of therapy is called motivational interviewing, harm reduction, stages of change. And that's all the thinking. It's a thinking man's process. So the thought processes got to be healed in order for the physical action behavior processes to be healed. Right. So that's why we dig in and deal with the brain. We deal with the thought processes. We deal with thinking about the consequences before you even make a move, before you even act on it. So that part of recovery is an excellent piece, because if you could teach a person how to kill it in the thought, they could kill it in the behavior.
Yeah, because it's more than just stopping the use. As you said, you can just remain abstinent, but the risk of relapsing is very high. But once you stop the using and you engage in the work process and addressing the issues that you need to address, such as you said, the way you think, your behavior, your belief systems, then you begin to engage in the recovery process once you start changing those.
Well, that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff, man. And it's people in the field that enjoy it. And then now they got this process called recovery coaches and recovery peer recovery coaches, and what they call
certified peer support specialists.
And the value of having those certified peer recovery coaches. What you think about that value now? Having them in the groups and in the individuals and meeting the clients, walking with the clients. Back in the day, there was a thing called sponsorships, where a person would find somebody walking the walk, not just talking the talk, and use them as a sponsor person. But now you got people that's certified and trained to walk alongside of you as you walk through your recovery issues and processes. And the value of that is they've been there.
Absolutely.
They've been there. They can speak the language that sometimes clinicians may not have the language to talk to a recovering person based on what's they call on the linguistics that's out here in the street.
Being able to share their experience, strengths, and hope.
Yes, and able to share it in the language. Marijuana is so changing now. It used to be a cocktail.
True story.
You ain't heard that in 25 years.
A long time.
It used to be a joint. You ain't heard that in 25 years. Now it's so many different blunts. I mean, they used to call them plucks. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
A jumbo. Yeah, they used to call it a jumbo or the pluck. Now they call it a 40. And I don't know what they called it as we move along.
They've changed everything. And, as you stated earlier about the sponsorship, that's still important in this recovery process because it more so focuses on the fellowship of whatever support group a person in recovery is, whether it's NAAA or FA, or even GA. That sponsorship is important because, like you stated, they still walk side by side with the individual that's new in recovery and helping them and showing them and, helping them identify the areas of their weaknesses, their strengths, and what they need to work on. And the coaches go a little bit further than that because they are with them in the process of their therapy, in the process of treatment, helping them get a better understanding of recovery. Another issue, which you stated that's really important too, is the way things have changed from back in the day in regards to the type of drugs that we used back then.
Oh, okay.
Heroin back then versus now fentanyl. And the fentanyl being laced with everything. And I think it has a profound effect on how individuals come into treatment. Their state of mind, the way their belief systems. I think it's a lot worse now than it was back then as a result of the type.
And we have to step our game up to be able to address this stuff. We got to know. We got to keep up with fentanyl. We got to keep up with xylidine. Then you got to keep up with Narcans, and it's just so many interventions that we can use. We have the MAT programs that can medical assisted treatment. We got stopping an overdose through Narcan. We got so many different interventions that we can do now to help a participant don't have to just die in the state of addiction like that. So.
And that's why ongoing training is important in the clinical field, in the recovery coaching field for recovery coaches, counselors, therapists, social workers. Ongoing training to obtain updated information to be able to assist these individuals.
Wow. So statistics is coming up with new modalities of treating the participants. And it's our responsibility, like you say, ongoing training. You can't say, I got it.
Oh, no.
You'll be in there one way, and
that's never ending.
Yeah, it's never ending. You'll be in there thinking that everybody can recover from the 12-step program, or everybody can recover from harm reduction, or everybody can recover from stages of change, or motivational interviewing, all these different therapies out here. Everybody have a different pathway, which means that as many modalities of treatment and therapy and counseling that you could have under your belt, then the better you're going to be able to relate to the participant that's coming in front of you. And you never know, because we getting people coming from ethnic backgrounds that's different than my background and your background. So you got people coming that's Mexican, you got people that's coming from Muslims, you got people that's coming from Dearborn, Detroit. I mean, the bottom. These people coming in from drugs don't care who you are. You
don't care.
It don't care.
And
it don't care if you're the mayor. It don't care if you're the police.
Absolutely.
It don't care if you're the pastor. It don't care who you are. You play with it. You play with it and keep it. Well, I'm gonna say you experiment with it first, and the next thing you know, now you're calling other people to help you with your experiments. And that's your recreational stage. And the next thing you know, now you're abusing it because you staying longer than you wanted to stay and using more than you wanted to use. Now you get to the point now that you depended on it, which means now I got to have it to function. I got to have it to go to work. I got to have it to get up in the morning. I got to have it to be normal.
Right.
And so it's so many different layers. And a good assessment, man, I'm telling you, boy, when you can do that ASAM is a powerful tool today.
Oh, yeah.
That's a powerful tool, that ASAM. And a good assessment will make you a sharper, more thorough clinician.
Right.
Be able to diagnose.
It helps you help the individuals more.
Yeah.
Because it helps you to allow the individual that you are servicing to develop a good treatment plan, a more sound treatment plan, to be able to assist the individual that's seeking services.
Man, that's
the ASAM, the biopsycho, the IBPA, and all that.
Right. Yeah. There's so many layers, so many documents, so many different things that we can use. I believe now in the genograms, going back and seeing genetically what happened to you. Did your daddy use? Did your granddaddy use? Did your great granddaddy use? And with that stuff transcending, transitioning from, hey man, if you had a granddaddy, granddad, mama, grandpa, all these people was involved, then your chances of being involved genetically is even higher. That's why if your parents or grandparents got high blood pressure, maybe you need to back up off eating so much salt because you can lead yourself right into the same mark and then not even know it.
True.
So when you think about Amherst and you think about where they're at and what they're doing, what could you say to an individual that just accidentally tuned into this dial and they on their way right now to get one? They on their way. How can we stop them? You know what I'm saying? This show is global. It's being showed on SDM Flicks, YouTube, Facebook. It's on Leak News Local Detroit. This show is being shown on so many layers, and you don't even know who's tuning in right now.
Right.
But say you got this young lady, this young man, or this old man, or this old lady. It ain't dope. Don't care about nationality, ethnicity, age, none of that. No. It'll come over there and grab a hold to you. What could you say? Here go your camera. What could you say to the globe, to the world, to that person that's on this way?
Only thing you could ask them to do is just take a look at what you've been through, where you're going, and is this what you really want to do? Think about everything. Play the tape all the way through. Don't just look at the good part. Don't think about just the good part of that experience that you might feel when you go out and get a blow, a drink, or a rock, or whatever the case may be. Look at the long-term effects. Look at what's going to happen in the end, because we're capable of doing that.
Amen.
Yeah.
That sounds good right there. This is a good place that we could take a station break.
Okay.
And we're going to take a station break right here. And I am Jesse Washington, your host of Recovery Live Global. And we got Mr. Tony Allen from Amherst Home. We're going to take a break and we'll see you in just a minute.
So the primary objective of the mobile units is to provide crisis intervention, stabilization, and de-escalation techniques to individuals of all ages experiencing a crisis in a community. Individuals may not be able to access certain services due to their insurance status, but with these units, we can help people regardless of their insurance status. And pretty much our goal is to provide individuals with immediate support and care right in their community, removing different barriers such as transportation. In that regard, we come to them. We can meet them anywhere they are in the community in Wayne County. So it can be in their home, it can be at their school, it could be at their local church, it can be at a park. Wherever they are in crisis, we are there to support. These mobile units are different because we are able to go where people are and give them services and support where they are most comfortable. So we're able to go to their homes, we can go to their schools, we can go to their local church, we can go to a community center. Wherever they are in crisis, we are able to go to them, removing that barrier of transportation.
Now they can call us, we can go right out and give that person the services that they really need. A lot of people do things because of it's their job, but I believe everyone on this team, on the mobile crisis team, this is their purpose, to reach out to other individuals that are going through crisis. Just because you're going through a crisis at that moment, don't mean that you'll stay there the rest of your life.
Hi, I am Katrina Barnes, and you're watching Recovery Live Global.
I am back, your host, Jesse Washington with Recovery Live Global. Recovery Live Global is on the move. If you see and you think that you would like to support this Recovery Live Global platform, you will see how you could support. And if you want to be a part of it and come in for an interview, just give us a call. We would love to bring our production interview processes to your site to do some interview as you talk about recovery. Recovery is important, and I think the whole world need to learn and be educated about it. Look forward. You're going to have some educational video. We're going to have educational processes and programs. We're going to be interviewing other DWIN providers just within the program. And you don't really have to be a DWIN provider to be a part of Recovery Live Global. We are growing and we moving. And if you'd like to be a part of it, you can call 313-970-1422, or you can always call if you need services and treatment, 4949. No, let's go back. 1-800-241-4949. That's 1-800-241-4949. Get on the phone. There's a screener. We'll screen you 24 hours a day. Once the screening take place, there's an assessor, and they can link you to the level of service that you need, and you can choose your providers. So we welcome you. If you're out there and you thinking about getting another one, just stop. Just like Mr. Allen, Tony Allen just said, just stop and then think about the consequences, because every behavior have a consequence. This is a good time to think about the consequences before you do it, because once you do it, you can't stop the consequences. You can't control the consequences. So we just thank you for opportunity for tuning in, and then like, share, go to SDM Flicks and look up Recovery Live Global. Go to your YouTube dial, look up Recovery Live Global. Go to my Facebook page, look up Recovery Live Global. Go to Leak News Local Detroit, look up Recovery Live Global. We on multiple platforms trying to get the word out that there is freedom after addiction. There is freedom after addiction. Everybody don't have to go. Everybody don't have to go to the funeral home. Some people can go to to better places. And we need change agents out here in the world today that we can have people to speak on behalf of the recovery processes. Why? Because of the stigma that's associated with recovery. We got to break the stigma. So somebody that have been addicted and stopped got to tell the story. And I know it's hard because when you start telling the story about your addictions and things like that, people put you in a box, don't want to give you no job, don't want you in their house, don't want you in their church. They don't want to be a bother with you. But somebody got to break the stigma and say that I once was lost, but now I'm saved. This has been another segment of Recovery Live Global. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next week.